Hey folks, it's Peter with the Move, Live, Love Texas team, and we're out doing another one of our Tuesday tip features or Tuesday tip videos. And today what we wanted to do was go over pool maintenance and more specifically how to keep your pool algae free. And so when we're doing this, we want to make sure we have the expert here. So we do have the expert here. We want to welcome Lyle McManus with PhD Pools. And it's funny that that's the name because I call him the doctor of pools.
That's right, that's right,
that's right. So we really appreciate you being out here and kind of giving us some good info.
Thank you for putting this together. Yeah, you bet, absolutely. Well, as you know, it's been very hot lately.
Yes,
Triple-digit weather. I mean, I don't know how many days in a row, but I think it's a record. Things are dying,
I know.
as you can see.
Yeah.
So I thought today we would go over how to keep algae out of the swimming pool.
Yep.
Because we've gotten an uptick in calls about that. And there's a few things, 3 specifically, that you can do to make it pretty easy to do that.
And I was going to say one thing real quick. What's funny is that's the way we met.
We did. That's right.
So we had a listing that was here in the Woodlands that was being maintained, as we would call it. I don't know if that's exactly the way I would put it, but kept having, you know, when you're in Florida, it's great to be green, but when you have not a green base to a pool and it's green, that's a problem. And so that's how we met. And he came in, he and his father came in, and man, one piece of taking care of it and never had a problem. So it's just interesting that's how we met.
Well, we try to look, absolutely, and we try to look at the root cause of what's happening versus trying to mask it. And so we came up with what we call the pool trilogy.
Okay.
Typically, it all boils back to 3 things. And so if your pool is getting cloudy, getting some algae in it, if you just think about these 3 things that we're going to just do a cursory overview on, it boils down to those. So it takes all the guesswork out.
Okay.
And so the first one is water chemistry, right?
There you go.
And so that seems pretty simple and pretty easy, but a lot of people, they don't have the discipline to do it, nor the time.
Yeah.
And so if you don't, there's companies that can come out and do it for you.
Okay.
But there's also the local pool supplies that you can bring the sample up to if you wanted to. But what we found is in between those visits to the pool supply, you can get some test strips, and it takes like literally 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Versus titration drops. They're a little more accurate, but for the average homeowner, the strips are better than nothing, right?
Okay.
And so if you do your water chemistry on a weekly basis, we find that you have a lot better success with staving off algae in the swimming pool.
Okay.
And just a sidebar about water chemistry is that oftentimes when we see algae in the pool, it's very low chlorine to no chlorine. Okay. And the pH is very high. Okay. When you swim in that environment and you open your eyes burn.
Yeah, okay, but
the first thing people say is too much chlorine. I want salt water, I want to do this, I want to do that. Whereas a $5 gallon of acid will lower the pH and solve the problem versus a $2,800 system. Okay, so that's just fun. I love water chemistry, and there's a lot of things that we can do. I do a prophylactic treatment of a dry algicide a couple times a year, regardless if I need it or not. That also helps with it. We could also do, in conjunction with like a tablet feeder, we can do ozone or UV. This is actually ozone, which is the most efficient way to sanitize a pool, but no such thing as residual ozone. So you have to use it in conjunction with something else like the inline chlorinator that we use. So there's different things that we can do and help. And so what we recommend is, if you are having problems with algae, we can come out to the house. Do a look over everything. We don't charge for that. Give you our advice as far as how we would set it up. So water chemistry, very important. The other thing is turnover rate. So this volume of water needs to go through the filter and your inline chlorinator and or whatever system you're running, could be salt, twice daily. So how do we know, how do we do that? Well, length times width times average depth times 7.5 will give you your volume of your swimming pool. Based on your pump size. That's right. So typically an average size pump is going to be about a 2 horsepower. It could be 1.5, could be 2.5, but 2 is pretty typical. Single speed will do 20,000 gallons, average pool in the Woodlands, in about 3.5, 3.7 hours. So being a pool guy, I call it 4 because I don't do math very well.
There you go. I don't either.
7.5 to 8 hours a day minimum you got to run your swimming pool with a single speed motor. Variable speeds, a lot more popular now. Big fan of those. A lot less on electricity bill, right? Which is very expensive this time of year as well, too. It takes about twice as long because you're running at about 50%. So it takes about twice as long to do that. Frankly, I'm a fan if you have a variable speed, run it at about 50 gallons per minute, which is about half. And run it for 24 hours a day. It's better on the filtration, the chlorination. Keeps everything moving on that. As well. So turnover rate, very, very, very important. And then lastly, clean filter. So you got to have a clean filter.
Which was our problem, or at least part of the problem back then.
It always boils down to one of these three things.
Okay.
And so if any one of these three things, and we'll talk a bit more about the filter, but any one of these three things is not within the right parameter, then you're going to get algae in the swimming pool. And a lot of people try to mask the problems. So say, for instance, you have a dirty filter. Well, you could super chlorinate the pool and keep the algae away.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
But wouldn't you rather get to the root cause?
Yeah.
You know?
And fix it easier and probably longer. I mean,
we take a holistic approach. That's the PhD. So we could mask it with prescription drugs. Or we could get to the root issue of it and fix the problem. And so that's the approach that we take, that holistic type of approach to it. So it's a little bit different than some. So with the filter itself, I have a cartridge filter on here, but DE is very popular, and so is sand. And they all filter a little bit differently as far as the amount of microns that it can filter out of the water. I would say by far now DE and cartridge are the most popular, unless you're going commercial. We're not going to, that's...
No.
That's a Wednesday.
Sure.
That's not a Tuesday, that's a Wednesday. But on my cartridge filter, what I did was I put a filter in between my pump and the filter itself. It's a centrifugal, so it doesn't actually have any mechanical parts in it. It just spins the water and all the sediment drops out before it gets to the filter. It's called a multi-cyclone.
So really just trying to catch the maybe bigger-ish stuff.
That's right, before it goes into the filter. Rarely am I doing filter cleans. Once a year it's recommended, but I mean, it really does clean it before that. So there's all different things that we can do and look at and give suggestions. So if someone's saying to me, hey Lyle, I'm cleaning my filter all the time. Well, when's the last time you replaced the cartridges? Maybe we should put a multi-cyclone on there for you. There's different things that we can do and address. So anyways, that's the pool trilogy. It always boils down to that. And oftentimes we can just address that over the phone too as well, and not even have to make a field visit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Exactly.
And then they do kind of the teaching piece you were talking to me about.
Pool school.
Pool school.
Yeah, we do pool schools. We like to go out to your property. All pools are different. They're like people. Some are bigger, some are smaller. Some require more chemicals, food than others. Right? So they're all different. And then I always, tell people be careful talking to your neighbors and people at the water cooler, because they may have a salt system. You don't. Right. They may have a DE filter. You don't. There's all different things, different types of pools. So that we like to go out to the property to do that. So just
absolutely.
Let us know. We'd be happy to help.
So at the end of the video, we're going to get you Lyle's information. And that way, if you've got questions or, obviously need his assistance, that's the big key, is making sure y'all know about him. Because like I say, we have the luxury of being able to call him and ask some quick questions that are, hey, what should we do and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to get free service. Sometimes they're just quick questions and stuff, and making sure we're thinking the same way.
Absolutely.
So we're going to give you his information at the end, and we appreciate you watching this. We hope this was valuable. We're going to keep doing these Tuesday tip videos. And if you need some information in terms of getting something fixed, Lyle's the guy. PhD Pools, make sure you call them. And of course, if you're thinking about making a move, we hope you'll give us a chance, the Move, Live, Love Texas team, to earn your business. So until then, we'll see you again soon.